YouTube, how's things? How's everyone? I'm pooped today, I tell you. My son he's not wearing nappies anymore. There we go. My son's not wearing nappies anymore, and yeah, taking him to toilet. He wet the bed twice. He wet his bed and he wet our bed, and it was just like, I felt like just wetting the bed myself. Anyways, I'm here now. Let's talk about pallet. Was it pallet 2? The pallet, basically this pallet structure. I forgot. I remember in my last vlog I said number 3. I forget. We only did number 1. So we're gonna do number 2 now. And let's firstly talk about what's outside, which is the trees, which I recently planted. So let's have a look. So I'm not going to talk about everything, but if you remember, I had some comfrey and a trough down here. Surviving, it's doing its thing. I need to plant it in here one day because it's good to kind of mix it in with my compost, but we'll get to these sections and this little kind of new feeding station over here. But see, this tree is doing really well. Only annoying thing is it's growing towards the chicken wire, so when the wind blows, it's just getting like kind of that action. It's getting basically severed by the wind and it's rubbing on this and it's not growing here, so it has to kind of grow out this way, whereas south is this way, so it wants to grow that way. So I need to kind of maybe rectify that when the time's right. But it's serving its purpose. Just goes to show really what windbreak can do, because the grass is kind of long down there. It kind of gets up to maybe my knee height, but you can see here it's kind of like, it's almost up to my hip. Well, that's the dock there anyway, or common sorrel. And some of these plants in here didn't survive. It's weird how a lot of the sections haven't. Like this curly willow's done good. I'm not convinced this would do really well here, but we shall see. But it does go rapid, and that's its growth in what? That's this year. The thing is, this was a lump. Really, this was like the chunkiest bit. As you can see, it's quite chunky. But anyways, moving on. A lot of alders, I just literally chucked them in because it's like it may sound easy. Just I'm just planting, but the space that you the space that you have around these sections is like, it was quite difficult. Plus I was kind of conscious of ticks being around here, because every pallet, most of the pallets, I say about 50% of the pallets I picked up, there was ticks on them, so I was scared I was getting ticks up my bum or something like that. So these have just been chucked in just for the time being, just to kind of fill in the gaps, and then when the time's right I can correct them properly. But I've got a nice way of kind of positioning them to a bit like, so they can kind of merge in one, if you know what I mean. And there's 3 there, but I want to make them touch so then they kind of get stronger together and then branch out, so they'll be able to keep each other sturdy when the wind's blowing. But it's mostly alder that's done the best, but they were the tallest. Sorry about this hen. It's that time of day, isn't it? Right, she's done. But they're laying, what's it, August? I mean, not August, it's September the 6th today, and they're still, they're laying really well. They're still laying all good. John's doing his thing. But anyways, moving back to this, horse chestnut is struggling. It looks like it needs a feed or something. It's got a little bit of windburn on the side there. Prevailing winds from the southwest, which is over there, folks. So yeah, this is kind of looking a bit sad for itself, a bit sorry for itself. So I need to get a bit of feed. Ooh, little dogwood. I didn't realise I had a dogwood around the back there. So you're gonna have to look for a cage. But you've seen Cornus alba, lovely plant. There's some over here actually, but we'll get to talking about this in here. But I'm not going to talk about all the trees, but the one side that hasn't done so well is that side there, which kind of takes the prevailing winds. But I know I started planting on this was it this side? Yeah, it was this side, and worked my way around. So there are some trees doing well over there, but I'm not too fussed because I've got new plans for that section down there, so I was going to remove the trees anyway. But this, I'm not sure. I know I could Google it, but I'm not sure. Please excuse the wind. I'm not sure what plant this is. I know it's a type of pea. It smells kinda, so you can definitely from the pea family. So if anyone knows, before I edit this, before I find out, you can put it in the comment section. If you see it at the bottom of the screen, then I know what it is. But then if you don't see it, then I don't know what it is. But yes, all the way down there. It's here. It's all the way down there. So all I know is that there's gonna be a good, nice bit of nitrogen. And I forgot to mention again, alders are nitrogen fixers too. So yeah. But anyways, let's talk about this section down here. This is going to be the new kind of shady area for the chickens. This is where they're going to jam. So again, say it again, south's over here, so this gets quite a lot of shade. So we've got Ceanothus puget blue. We've got Katsura tree, which is kind of smells like, it's a lovely tree. If you're on the mainland, if you've got not so much wind, get one of these trees. It smells like kind of fudge, sweet fudge in the autumn time. It's got a lovely autumn colour too. Chickens don't mind it either. They've picked a few leaves, but then they lose interest when they know it's not so nice, and it's not poisonous to them, which is good. This horse chestnut got battered by them, so it's on its way back. It looks awful, but I'm hoping it can come back. Another alder here, Cornus alba, dogwood, and I'm going to have some elderberry, and basically just lots of berries around here. So it's like nice and shady, but then provides them with good food at the same time. So let's talk coops. So I remember in the first pallet vlog, I spoke and said that I'm going to have the coop up in this section here. but that would need a lot of excavating to dig up the soil and to have it flat, so it's on a flat surface, because it's quite slanted, this place. As you can see, it's quite slopey. So that's why we decided to put it down here, because this is like the flattest part of this chicken area. So if you're wondering why it's got 2 doors too, I was going to have a fence line going straight through the middle. So then on one side there'll be vegetables for us and the chickens, and the other side vegetables for chickens. So then they can take turns. So a couple of days on this side, a couple of days on that side. But these guys, there's like what, 26, 27 chickens in here, and they just devour everything. They're like a plague when it comes to things that they like to eat. They don't hold back. They don't mess about. So yeah, so I thought, you know what, it's just too much. You'll be like, have to alternate every day, which is all right. But then I thought, you know what, it's just too much faff for me. So what I decided to do was put this up and grow some vegetables here, but we'll talk about that in a sec. But the coop, I didn't make this, Susie's dad did. It's a lovely fortress, this. Lovely place. It's unfinished yet, but we're going to put some guttering on the back, and then we can have some water butts just to save some of the rainwater, and just cut this off. It's pretty deadly. It's like my flipping cheek level. But but yeah, we're going to cut this off and then put some there. But it's very well ventilated. Let's go inside. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So we're inside, and there's a lot of girls laying, and you got to love the tumble. I'll talk about that another day, but someone was chucking it out. I thought, could I have that for the chickens? And look, there's a hen in there. There's like the white hen seem to love this little white hen here, but I'm loving that everyone's using this. It's nice to see someone's using that one there. That was an old TV stand. But back to this, we'll talk about the actual kind of layout of things. And this is a popular nesting spot. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 hens trying to lay in there right now. So this one got rained on one day because the wind was blowing that way, and so everyone's avoiding this now. So what I might need to do is put like a boiled egg in there for them to use it. Is that rain? It's one of those days. It's just like hit and miss. But as you can see, there's poo on the top here. But what I need to do is going to scrape that off and then put some more carbon matter on top, and then that will kind of sequester the poo that they sleep on. And basically, I'm going to rearrange it anyway. So and soon I'm going to have all these nesting boxes on this side, and then have these roosting bars on this side, and make like a ladder, so to speak, so then it kind of peaks down. So then I can open up this door, and then when it comes to removing their poo, it's just a lot easier. Instead of having to kind of open this door and then scratch it around, there would just be one side where they'll be kind of pooing, because that's where they sleep. They sleep where they poo, basically. And then I have to move these over here somewhere and just get rid of all these rocks. Some of these rocks are like covered in chicken wire. I don't know why, but yeah, move these over here. So please excuse the noise again, but let's talk about the new chicken garden, the new kitchen chicken garden. It's hard to say that. So simple setup. I just basically just extended some pallets coming out from the coop, and then put some 10-foot stobs in, attached some chicken wire, pretty much the same way I've done the inside here, sorry. And you've got to make sure it overlaps, because for example, I know a chicken could potentially jump this one day. So what I need to do is kind of stretch some more chicken wire over the side, so then they can't get a nice footing. But yeah, there's only one really likes to escape, and she is that. Where is she? She's got a blue leg. Where is she? I don't know where she is, but there's a new chicken here, and she's got a blue leg collar, and she likes to escape. She's escaped quite a few times. My neighbour over there keeps saying that she keeps escaping. Anyways, let's go inside now. We are in the chicken area, so I need to block up this area. So I'm thinking of giving that side to the chickens, if that makes sense. So put a piece of pallet across here, and then some more chicken wire at the top, so they can go around here and liaise and have fun. And then then I have the chicken butts, the water butts over here. So then in time, when I do move their water, which is down there, I'm gonna move it to here, I can just fill up from the water butt and just be like glug 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 glug. See how it makes sense? So it's just kind of easier for me, because even I've got to walk from up there to kind of do all the basically just make life easier for myself. I mean, I don't mind the exercise, but I like little things to flow, like kind of, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word right now. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen when I remember. But yeah, this bit was covered in stinging nettles. And if you've got stinging nettles, folks, it means there's a high, basically, it's a lot of nitrogen here. So stinging nettles love nitrogen-rich soil. And yeah, I've been digging it out. The chickens, working around chickens is a nightmare, but we're winning slowly. That's why I was going to sort this out, but then working around them was just painstakingly slow. So that's why I thought, let's erect this up, and then I can kind of close this off, and then I can work in here without them annoying me and fapping and stuff like that. So yeah, so you can see from the inside, it's a simple pallet, and I put this in there just to kind of for extra support, so then it wobbles. It's not too bad. It's a bit wobbly, but it will survive. It's not forever really. Well, I say that I am gonna keep this in the future, because long story short, I'm extending the chicken area to over here. So I'm gonna, you see, if you can see those pallets just there, it's gonna go all the way out towards that trailer, come all the way and then jut out all the way around and then come out to where that kind of the fencing over there is. So it's going to be a lot bigger, so I can kind of, because my plan is, yeah, I basically want to get the chickens off grain, because it's like, it's quite expensive. I'm trying to be sustainable, but I'm not really sustainable because I'm just buying them food all the time, and it's quite pricey. Like, see, actually, this is the stuff. It's kind of, it's good stuff. It's soya free. Have a look. It's full of rubbish right now, but it's soya free. Like, they see the bag and the food. There's nothing in. You had your breakfast already, sod off. But yeah, soy free, GMO free. I love them, really. They don't understand me. They know I mean good things. There's always these three. There's this one who can't walk good, and then these two brown Lomans. But anyways, so yeah, try and get them off the grain, because just basically just have compost heaps over there, and just basically just different areas where they can scratch and get worms, and then maybe having wormeries in here too. But then keep this area. So what I can do is close this off, and then basically once because in the future around the sides here, I'm hoping to have like lots of vegetables for us, and maybe start a market garden, so there'll be enough veg out there for us. So in here, to scatter it with like dandelions, spinach, kale, chard, just basically all hardy, tough kind of things that chickens love. And maybe once or twice a week, just open it up and let them all come in there, get their daily requirements, and then just bugger and close it up at the end of the day. So then it can come back again, if that makes sense. So then this will be that nice little kind of garden for them. But because we haven't got a space right now, that's why I thought it'd be good to kind of make this all nice. And they're making compost here too, so that will be another thing to kind of fertilize this place. So let's move on to other things. So let's talk about my pile. Check it out. This has been the 4th flip. It looks all right, but I just feel like I let it get too hot. And the sign of a compost getting too hot, if you start seeing stuff like this, and it's just like burnt away all the goodness from it. You might think, oh, that's good, but I can't find my compost thermometer, which is annoying, because they're pain in the bum. So yeah, but I didn't water it this time. Not every time I've been flipping, I've been like dousing it with water, so it's like gleaming. It looks the part, but then when it's dry, it doesn't look so good, does it? So I've just left this now. The chickens are like still showing interest in it, but I'm just leaving it now just to see what it does. I might need to give it another week, but I didn't kind of mix. I think there was more nitrogen in there than there was carbon, but it was a lot of bedding from the ducks, because we got ducks, so we had loads of baby ducklings, and there was a lot of kind of wood chip from them. It's kind of, I don't know, I feel as though I need to kind of rectify, but it's all a learning curve at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I'm no compost expert, but it's a different environment, it's a different wind dries things out so quick up here. So it's windy today, so it's just like for me to practice and learn and all that kind of stuff. So I'm getting there. Like I said, I've got one more. See, I'll flip it next week. It'll be the 5th flip, and then I'll see how it is. But it'd be a good mulch. I just need to remove the sods, because I've just been doing these kind of weird piles of sods, because it's full of worms. Like when I unravel this, there's just worms galore, and it keeps them happy. And then they scratch away when they finish with it, and I just pile it all up again. And I've done the same thing down there. But we'll elaborate about kind of keeping your chickens happy with weird, quirky things in another vlog. So let's move on to this section. I'm sure you're itching to find out what this is. So I was kind of getting fed up with scattering food all over the place, because basically it just tracks all different. I know there's food around, you can see here if you're not sure, but my neighbours, they don't know about this section yet, but they come in sometimes and they kind of give them stuff that they've grown in the garden and that. So that they don't like the offcuts of the lettuce, and as you can see here, the stuff that doesn't look so good. So basically, this is going to be their new food. What is their new food station? So what I've done, I've put like a nice bit of hay down here, some spent hay. This is like kind of their carbon. It's like their carbon sponge, basically, because you need, for carbon to break down, you need a lot of nitrogen, and in their poos are lots of nitrogen. So basically, this girl's having a nap in here, but that's, you know, you got chilled chickens. So basically, what I did the other day, I'm just kind of keep piling it up, so then they can knock it down. But then as they knock it down, they're mixing the horse poo. But I need more horse poo in here. But it's like I said, it's all a learning curve. So I'm just practicing and getting the kind of the right consistencies before I start kind of planning the next stage, which is to make, you see how I mentioned over here with this compost? Oh, I forgot to mention about that actually. I'm going to make like a little U-shaped pallet structure around it. So like imagine 3 pallets around, so then I can flip that compost into another bay, because it's just, I make it a little bit wider so the chickens can get in and scratch, because when they scratch, it just kind of goes downhill. Gravity just takes it down. I just keep scratching. It's nice that they spread the mulch, but I want to use it outside of this place. So what I'm going to do is build, like, have some compost, some pallets, go across and then jut up like that. So then like a line of pallets and then some divisions here. So then once this is ready, so it should, I'm kind of aiming for a week to kind of get this kind of prepared. So yeah, so once this is done in a week, then we'll flip it and then let them scratch away. Then another week, we flip it again. And then by the 5th week, I'm hoping it should be ready. So like, and I'm gonna have it all the bays up to here, basically. So it should be like 3 bays up to about here. So that means if this isn't ready yet, then I could potentially take stuff from here or merge the two and make like 1 mega pile here. And then 5th week, and then it will go back out into the system, into the garden. I'm more of a passive composter. Like, I like to sit back, make a pile, let it rot down, and then just like, oh, it's ready, and then just use it. Whereas I've got these kind of compost queens here who scratch away and turn it for you. So I thought, why not make them more useful? Like, I call them workmates, and not just like my pets, if you know what I mean. So basically, yeah, just have them scratch away at the compost, speed up the compost, and make kind of lovely compost for me, because their poo's nitrogen rich. They're giving me eggs as well. So I just need to get good practice of kind of making these piles. And we'll talk about it another day, go more in depth, because I've watched a lot of videos online. Big up all those people doing this, who are using chickens, especially Edible Acres. Was it Permapasture Farms I've been watching? And Carl Hammer in Vermont. He's got, like, I say it in American, Vermont. It doesn't sound as well, does it? Vermont. I live in Vermont, mate. But yeah, he feeds his chickens just on literally mainly compost. So that's what I aim to do, and I think I can do it, because I mean, they're jungle fowl at the end of the day. Hello again. Yeah, my battery died on my camera, so I was a bit like, ugh. But I've had a power nap, I've had some sugars, so I'm all good. But if you're new here, consider subscribing for some future action to see how the chicken area develops. And yeah, I'm going to move the ducks. I'll talk about ducks soon, because we've got 16 ducks at the moment, and there's 8 ducks downstairs. Believe me, they're pong. Like, I'll elaborate on that another day. But yes, and have a look at this. Look at the meadow in the back of my house here. Take a look. It's past its best. But yeah, this is the same type of meadow I want to depict. All these flowers do really well. The thistles have just turned. But I've never seen so many goldfinches flying around this place and all jamming on the electrical lines and stuff. And that's the North Atlantic. A spot with this view. It's lush. I will miss this place when we move. So, peace and hugs from Sunny US, and remember, it's not just my agenda, it's yours too.